welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. Last week, a number of major international events took place that were especially important for Ukraine. On July 9th, European leaders met in Brussels for the annual EU-Ukraine summit. A few days after that, the 2018 NATO summit was held there. So what were the outcomes of these summits and what do they mean for Ukraine? To talk more about this and about the current international agenda, we're joined in the studio today by Oleksiy Kaftan. He's a journalist and an international observer. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So let's talk about EU-Ukraine summit first. What was the most expected outcome that we got from that meeting?
Well, actually, it was the summit that had just an outcome is like that. Well, guys, we adore your claims. We adore your trying to become more European. That's all, folks. Actually, we had some money. That's good. We had some, again, adoration. That's also good. But that's all. Actually, there is
so nothing, no concrete decisions, no concrete plans. Nothing is for certain anymore?
Well, to me, it looks like more of a public relations action than the summit as such. Well, you see, it's the last summit for our president until the next election, 2020.
Yes.
So, what actually has happened? Now, Petro Poroshenko has got some evaluation from the EU.
What he has done over the presidency.
What he's done during his presidency.
So
they admit, first, that we have reforms going on.
We do.
That's good. I mean the European Union. Then they agree, all sides do agree, that there is much to be done. On the other hand, we should remember that the declaration itself is a good result. For there has been no declarations after the meetings during 3 years. And now they have it. That's good. But in fact, what's more, they have, again, money is to be given to Ukraine in exchange for some other reforms.
Exactly.
So, is it good? Of course it is. But could it be better? I think it could. On the other hand,
thinks it's good. Like my question, my logical question in this flow of the conversation is this: since all we got from the latest EU-Ukraine summit is the evaluation of Petro Poroshenko's presidency, was it all we were expecting for, or did we want more?
Of course, we do want more, but I'm not sure what exactly did Petro Poroshenko expect. It's a question to him.
No, that's an interesting question.
I think that we have actually a positive result, but it's positive more in the I'd say public opinion sphere. One, the second point is it can be used by our president's administration to push forward Verkhovna Rada, to make it more effective, I'd say, in lawmaking, to make Ukraine more reformed again. The corruption sphere, I mean the branch of fighting corruption. I mean the branch of reforming the energy sector and so on and so on.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the next summit we had. recently in this 2018 NATO summit. Did Ukraine get a positive outcome out of that meeting?
Oh, again, to my mind,
there was another evaluation.
To my mind, again, what we have got, one could think of a fact, and one could think of how the fact is perceived. So the perception of the fact and the fact itself could be quite different things, but it's not a problem. For, in fact, what we got. Guys, okay, we do admit you're trying to be a part of NATO. That's good. Why not?
Keep trying.
Not now. Keep trying. That's what we have. Should we keep trying? Of course we should. But to what end would it come? I think most of what we can get is something like being an Eastern European Sweden. That could be a perfect result, because actually at the moment we cannot be accepted. And
I know, but that is a very long-term perspective.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
As for now, and could this long-term perspective actually be fulfilled with the war going on in the east of the country, and with the international leaders acting the way they do? I mean, Emmanuel Macron being the president of France, right, being a part in the Minsk Accords, still went to the, I'm sorry, but the bloodbath football championship, visited it, and afterwards had a meeting with President Putin.
Why not?
Was Ukraine discussed at that meeting?
I think it was discussed on that meeting.
Not officially?
Not officially. And the championship itself has been used as a talking place by the Russian president, and it's been used very effectively.
But wouldn't it make more sense for the European leaders to make a statement by not visiting the football championship?
Yeah, looking at that from our perspective. But from the perspective of the French leader or Croatian leader or whoever else, it goes about, it's all about the realpolitik, So, no, I never expected the championship would be boycotted. Never ever. So everybody, I mean the world leaders, would try to use it somehow, and of course the host himself tried very hard to make it a talking point and a talking place. So he succeeded.
All right, there's another meeting coming up, happening right around the corner, is the meeting between President Putin and President Donald Trump.
Sure.
And it is a very much anticipated meeting by the international leaders. So should Ukraine be scared? Because Donald Trump, while talking to the president of the European Council, Donald Tusk, said, quote, no, he didn't say that, but he acted, quote, really excited to actually learn what was it that Russia did in Ukraine. I mean, we have a war for the 5th year going on, and President Trump, being the leader of the greatest country in the world, or one of the greatest countries in the world, and he doesn't know what Russia has done to Ukraine.
I'm sure he does.
But
you see, to my mind, Donald Trump is a unique president, and his uniqueness is like, he's a typical American.
Yes,
he's arrogant. Sometimes he's rude, and even very rude, but he's true. Being
not informed about the international agenda.
It's not what I mean. He is informed. Of course, he is informed. But, you know, watching TV, for instance, many of us could think or even say, oh, come on, it's not true, you're lying. And Mr. Trump, I guess, knows perfectly well that the least informed people in this world could be the top managers, the country top managers, for instance. For all those trickles of information they get through many, many filters, you know.
True.
So why not use just a common sense to talk to his competitor? You do remember, I don't think, I'm trying to quote, I don't think that Putin is enemy or Russia is enemy, he's a competitor, yeah? But so to make his own point of view, Trump, what he's doing, he's trying to talk, but I don't think that this talk, the Helsinki talk, will be something great. Or, you know, it's like much ado about nothing, to my mind.
Well, there was information that President Putin was actually preparing really hard for this meeting, and he had a lot of topics, you know, planned for discussion. So, apart from Ukraine, what else do you think, to your opinion, could President Putin want to talk about?
Trump didn't prepare.
No, Putin.
Trump didn't prepare for the presidential election, but he won.
Well, if the investigation proves that Russia meddled into the presidential election of 2016 in the USA, I think he prepared very well.
I think they will prove. They will have the proofs. But my point is, this meeting is something like the meeting with Kim Jong-un. Again, they have a perfectly good picture for mass media. President Trump can tell his electorate that he's keeping his words. He's trying to be effective. Why not? But on the other hand, being a media person, he doesn't have to show the result as such. Why now?
When then?
You know, sorry, it's not necessary.
So the action should be taken, but the results are not needed?
In fact, I could say that this meeting is something like a very promising meeting for both sides are or will be promising and promising and promising. But none of them will be willing or even capable of keeping those promises. Neither Putin nor Trump. So what we'll see is something like, you know, a good picture, but nothing more, to my mind.
That's a very interesting point of view. Thank you so much for coming here and expressing it and
you.
explaining all the rest to us and our audience. Thanks again. That was Oleksiy Kaftan, an international observer. Thank you for watching UATV. Stay tuned for more.